This is the.
I was listening to the Facebook whistleblower hearings with Senator Josh Hawley a few months back. One of the elements that stuck out to me was when they were talking about how if an underage girl has deleted a selfie, Meta keeps track of this because they know that this person likely has low self-esteem at that moment that they deleted a picture of themselves, which means that they may be more apt to purchase something from an advertiser of a cosmetic product. And think about this within the context of what companies used to get in trouble for and what they do, or more importantly, don't get in trouble for today. I grew up in the 90s, a time when Microsoft had hell and fury fall down upon them because they bundled a web browser with their operating system.
So basically, Lewis is talking about how tech companies are acting very, very unethically, and they are doing a lot of monopolistic things, or acting in tandem to behave in a monopolistic way, things like that. And it's become a real problem where you no longer own anything you buy. You don't have the right to repair anything you buy.
Big data, not the speeches that I give, not my website or my blog post or my video. And somebody else gains the balls to put the mask on. And then 20 or 40 or 100 of them put the mask on. And once 100 or 1,000 of them put the mask on, there's nothing that the leaders can do at that point. Enough mask. If you're tired of companies changing the terms of the sale after the sale. Besides, I think that Clippy is like a modern day Sons of the Harpy mask. If you're tired of companies changing the terms of the sale after the sale and getting away with it, turn your profile photo to a Clippy. If you're tired of companies that have the ability to reach into your house and ransomware your products so that they stop working unless you pay them again, claiming that that's legal, but then when somebody tries to give you back access to what you bought and paid for, that's illegal.
So this is what he's talking about. This is an example of what he's talking about. What happens is a lot of companies will sell you a product with a subscription or something, and then after a while, maybe this could be like some smart device in your house, or like your refrigerator. And then after a year or two, the company says, oh, okay, well, we're no longer supporting this product. Screw you. You have to buy a new one. It's just not going to work anymore. And that's a big problem. But then to make things worse, when somebody comes up with like an open source alternative, or basically a way to get the thing working again that doesn't require the company itself, so now the company can't make money off it, companies will actually sue them or send them a cease and desist, so that they are actually prevented from making the device work again. That is the kind of corporate malfeasance that Lewis is talking about.
Change your profile photo to a Clippy.
Sir, can you put Jackie's box on? Who's Jackie? And what? I don't know if that's a euphemism, because I'm assuming if it's a euphemism, I can't exactly put someone's box on stream. But yeah, I don't know what that refers to.
To a Clippy. If you're tired of sex bots invading the comment section on a regular basis, and their comments always posting with no problem, but your comments being censored even when you're not saying anything that bad, change your profile.
Chat, I cannot be the only one who knows exactly what he's talking about here. Those weird sex bots in the comments with like those profile pics that either look like porn, or they're like those fake illusions that kind of look like porn or things like that, posting like random nonsense in the comments, and somehow they always get through the spam filters, but you post a comment, you post a chat, and it just gets completely filtered by YouTube. I cannot be the only one who sees that all the time. Wasn't that something that happened with Sound Blaster cards? Someone put out an update for drivers for the card, and then they sued the guy or something. Sound Blaster cards, that wouldn't surprise me. Although what's funny is, do people really even buy sound cards anymore? Sound Blaster driver update. Dude, I'll just put those words in and see. Not seeing it. So guy sued by Sound Blaster. Let's try that. Could be something like, is this what you're talking about maybe? Versus AdLib? Where they're suing, something about them suing people. Suing company. Oh, this looks like a much older story. I'm not sure. I haven't actually heard that story before, but it sounds like it. Like if I could find it, it would not surprise me if that was an example of what was being talked about. But no, I'm not seeing any news on that. You haven't seen the porn chat bots for a while, mainly people trying to sell you viewers, followers. So I see the people trying to sell viewers and followers. I see that all over Twitch and Kick. But the porn chat bots, I see them. If you go to like any like big creators video, there are probably some in Rossmann's comments. But you have to like go all the way to the bottom of the video because everybody like dislikes it or reports it or whatever. YouTube doesn't do anything about it, but they usually end up at the bottom of the comment section, and you'll see them. Yeah, they don't pop into YouTube chat though, thankfully. Yeah, it was from a good while back. I heard about it from a Cursed Farms video, either one of his game dungeons or something. He was bringing it up for corrupt business. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Although, it could be, it might be that maybe it's not Sound Blaster and maybe it's another company. Because a lot of companies behave like this. Yeah, so...
Profile picture to a Clippy. If Google being one of the premier data mining companies on Earth, not being able to tell that little fucking cat with 2 pillows next to it that they try to make look like an ass so that thirsty young men click it as they normalize sex trafficking on the platform that doesn't allow you to express an opinion bothers you, change your profile picture to a Clippy and let them know that you're not happy. Clippy never tried to normalize sex trafficking. He just wanted to help. If you're tired of companies saying out loud that the reason they want to keep you from fixing what you bought and paid for is that may take money away from them, change your profile photo to a Clippy. I never expected to win the legislative battle. It would be nice if I did, but it was never something that I set as I need to do this or I'm a failure. What I always hoped to do was win the cultural battle where all of...
Yeah, so again, that's what he's talking about. Companies basically preventing you from repairing the things that you own. Even though you bought them, you own them, you paid for them. You should have every right to do what you want to with your stuff. But a lot of these companies act very scummily and will try to prevent you.
All of you understand what's going on, and you decide that enough is enough. If I ever have a chance in my personal life to push back against this, I will. You're maybe not going to send that email that you're supposed to send to Interso to tell them, oh, by the way, make sure this chip doesn't end up on Mouser.com. Here's an NDA, blah, 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 the supplier agreement. Maybe you just forget to send that email. When there's a new consumer rights law that the senator that you work for is on the fence about supporting, and there's a lobbyist that's going to be against it that wants to have dinner. Whoops, maybe their invitation went to spam. I didn't see that. Sorry, boss. Maybe you quit before you create a fake paywall to test if your customers will pay again for what they already paid for. Or maybe when you send out that ransomware firmware update, you make it opt-in instead of opt-out. Whoopsie, if in some...
So, basically, to sum it up, it seems like it's about spreading the idea that tech companies need to be more responsible in their behavior. And as he said, the legislation it would be nice to have, but it seems unlikely to pass. So, at the very least, if we can make it a cultural thing where, people are always aware of this, thinking about it. Because I don't know of anybody who would actually defend these kinds of scummy business practices. It's just something that, it's just something that, like, the very rich types of people are going to... Something that the very rich types of people are going to push, but, like, 99% of people, if they know about this, they will, at the very least, implicitly be in support of what Rossmann is talking about.
Some bizarro world, it is actually illegal to make a thermostat work again. And this bastard of a CEO decides to try and get the individual in trouble. 10 cases to prosecute. Only got time for 6. Maybe I just ignore this one. When a company CEO logs into their Slack and sees 10,000 Clippies looking back at them, What I hope occurs is that they intuitively understand that they no longer live in a world where they can get away with fucking over the consumer. That their employees, their partners, are not going to be accomplices to this anymore. That they are alert and they are aware of what is going on, and they are going to politely but firmly push back against it. Every single one of those 10,000 people will be an obstacle to the anti-consumer practices and the anti-ownership practices, and it will no longer be another cog in the assembly line sending us all into a dystopia. There will be a moment where that one person who usually would not have a say in anything can be activated, and in that moment, keep the world from sliding further into a dystopia, or help push it forward in the opposite direction. But we all have to get together, and the first step is making it public that we know what's going on. That starts with a Clippy. On YouTube, if you're with me, I ask that you change your profile picture to a Clippy. At work, change your Slack profile picture to a Clippy. If you
So that's why I put Clippy in my profile pic. And yeah, so the idea is, you don't have a lot of control over this stuff directly, but whenever you get a little opportunity, the idea is this reminds you, hey, I can actually do something good for once, and then you do that thing instead of not doing it. So that's really the big idea here.
If you work at the White House, don't take down the United States flag, but somewhere on the grounds, put up a flag of a Clippy. Clippy's a symbol that what used to be considered one of the worst annoyances in our life would now not only be welcomed, but for all of his flaws, celebrated as an idol. Because for all of these things that occur right now where there is negative malice of intent, I want to take away what you own. I want to take this back. I want to get your data. I want to sell you to an advertiser when I know that you're crying. Clippy just wanted to help. And if you would...
That's true. Clippy never tried to collect your data. Clippy never tried to take away something you already bought and paid for. Clippy was actually helpful, or at least he tried to be. Can we please go to Psychonauts? We'll get to it in a bit. It might be a while, though.
If you were to turn him on today, unlike most cloud bullshit, he'd still work. Hulu Foundation is going to be announcing the winners to both the Future Home Bounty and the Echelon Bikes Bounty within the next clips back. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video.
Copilot is the new Clippy. Oh, no. Oh, no. No. Definitely not. Definitely not. No, because Copilot... Well, remember when it was Cortana for a while? And at least the Cortana thing, it had a theme to it. People like the character. But yeah, this Copilot stuff, it's all garbage. It's not anywhere near as lovable as Clippy was. Okay, well, yeah, hopefully you make it back in time for Psychonauts, Mr. Goblin. Yeah, Copilot X Recall. Yeah, exactly. So they're going to scan everything you do on your computer, feed it into Copilot, feed it into the globalist tracking algorithms. Ugh, it's all terrible. And so he's got a couple more videos. But hopefully that gave you the gist of what's going on. He's got a few other follow-up videos and things. But yeah, so there's like progress of the movement, and then other stuff that is related to the topic. There's this one. I don't think we'll react to it, but this is very interesting. New York City stole a senior's house using the same scam they tried on me. Yeah, because New York City was really screwing over Lewis, and so he ended up moving to Texas. And it sounds like now sounds like he's found other situations where they're doing the same thing to other people. But yeah, so that is the Louis Rossmann Clippy movement in a nutshell. Basically, it is the idea that if you're sick of corporations mistreating you, abusing their power, abusing TOS, things like that, change your profile to Clippy, or at least, put Clippy in your profile pic somewhere. So, yeah, to signal to people, yeah, I am pro-ownership.